All-Star Weekend festivities start tomorrow, and the next, Tony East is joining me to chat about everything you need to know before things tip off. Locked On Women's Basketball starts now.
You are Locked On Women's Basketball, your daily podcast on women's basketball.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and happy Thursday. Thanks for making Locked On Women's Basketball your first listen every day. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm Natalie Heavren, and I'm a features writer and the Atlantic 10 beat reporter for The Next. This episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. Today, we'll chat all about last night's games before pivoting to all things All-Star Weekend. This includes who will be competing, the special rules for the All-Star Game, and what we're excited about seeing in the skills challenge and three-point contest, as well as what hosting the event means for Indianapolis. Joining me today is the Next Indiana Fever beat reporter, Tony East. Hi, Tony. Thank you for joining me today. First, let's start off with a quick recap of one of yesterday's games from the Lynx reporter here at the Next, Terry Horseman. And then we'll get into who we'll be seeing this weekend in Indianapolis. And maybe we can even chat about the New York Liberty versus Indiana Fever game from last night. But first, let's hear from Terry about what happened yesterday afternoon in Minnesota.
Locked On Women's Basketball. What's up? This is your Minnesota Lynx beat reporter, Terry Horseman, checking in from the Target Center here in Minneapolis, where the Lynx just improved to 20-4 by virtue of a 79-66 win over the Phoenix Mercury on camp day here at Target Center. One of the biggest crowds of the season, and the kids showed out. They were loud. Coach Reeve was sure to mention in the post-game that they knew every word to every song that came over the PA system during the game, and said, hey, we need our non-kid fans who come to games to bring some of that energy. So a bit of a challenge to the Lynx season ticket holders for the rest of the season. At the end of the day, it's a 79-66 win for the Lynx. They go into the All-Star break in style. Newly added All-Star Kayla McBride with the game-high 18 points. Now all eyes shift to Indy, where there's an All-Star game. Also a 72-hour Stud Bud stream with Courtney Williams and Natisha Heidemann. Will be here for all of it.
Oh, the Stud Buds. I love that so much. The
I
Lynx are
know.
so good. They still haven't lost a home game. Like, I don't think that's getting enough buzz as a story in the W. And this, to me, is like how they win at their best. Obviously, Fee is probably the MVP front runner right now, and she was fine. 10 points is she's a solid game. They won her minutes by 16. But they had so much balance in this game. All three of their All-Stars took between 9 and 11 shots. Bridget Carlton comes in for 10. Like, when they had the ball popping like that and their defense can strangle even a really good team like Phoenix, like there's just a reason they have the best record. They're so good on both ends of the floor in a way that most teams have not hit consistently this year. New York's gotten there a few times, obviously, so it's Phoenix, but night in, night out, you know what you get from Minnesota, and when they hit the balance just right, that's why they have 3 All-Stars. They just look unbeatable in these games.
I know. And you'll be seeing Nafisa Collier, Kayla McBride, and Courtney Williams. They'll all be playing on Team Collier. Do you think that'll provide any advantage, having basically their core just pick up and move to the All-Star team?
I have wondered about that. Like, I thought a lot actually about last year's game where this Team USA group that had not really played together is just like, yeah, you guys figured out, right? Like, they have. They're all studs. They've all played together at various times before. But I do wonder how much actual chemistry matters in the All-Star game when the rest of your team isn't chemistry related. Your coach is someone different. And as we'll get to later, it's very zany. There's like spots on the floor where you can do different things. And hey, there's no free throws and lots of other very fun and exciting things. So I think, like, for Lynx, and we'll talk about the Fever too, players who are on the same team because they were drafted by their star, and lots of players are sharing the floor with teammates in this game. Like, if they run a 2-player action, perhaps there'll be something to that in terms of the zippiness and the effectiveness of said plays. But I feel like in general, there's so much newness and freshness of this for everybody involved that I don't know how big of an advantage it is. We'll see, though. Maybe like Sky and NECA can look great together, or the Mystics rookies are going to be like, oh, look at this. I actually kind of hope that's how the game goes. It's just like clear out, get everybody on the same side of the floor as their teammate, and make something happen.
Oh, I love that. Is there anyone, from the Lynx that you're excited to watch, besides maybe catching some of that Stud Bud stream for 70 within that 72-hour time frame?
Yeah, Court in the All-Star Game again. It's been 5 years for her, 4 years. I can't remember when her last one was. It's been a while, right? Like her game translates well to All-Star fun to me. So I would put her very high. I mean, Fee's amazing, right? Like maybe she'll just be awesome, and K-Mac can shoot the snot out of the ball. Like they all have reasons to be the most exciting player on the floor. But like we saw Court in the finals last year. We've seen her for years. Like when she turns it up and looks at the entertainment value of what she's doing, which is why Stud Buds will be so fun. She's a hoot, right? And so I think in this kind of setting, if she's clicking at all, or if she's extra motivated to get an ooh and ah out of someone in the front row, she's going to be the one that I'm like, oh, that's awesome. That's super fun.
And then, I'll quickly run through the rest of the teams. For Team Clark, assuming she's playing, we haven't heard either way if she'll be participating in the 3-point contest and All-Star Game. But on her team, Aaliyah Boston, Sabrina Ionescu, Asia Wilson, Satu Sabali, though she announced last night that she wouldn't be participating in the All-Star Game. But as of 12:25 p.m. on Thursday Eastern Time, a replacement hasn't been named. Kelsey Mitchell, Gabby Williams, Sonia Citron, Kiki Iriafen, Jackie Young, and Kayla Thornton. And then on Team Collier, you've got Brianna Stewart, Alicia Gray, Neko Gumake, Paige Beckers, Skylar Diggins, Angel Reese, Alyssa Thomas, and Kelsey Plum. I'm really excited to see Brianna Stewart and Nafisa Collier team back up. Throwback to the 2016 UConn team. And then, of course, Paige Beckers, always excited to see her and, see if maybe there's, even though they never played together, see some of that UConn connection.
I loved the conflicting goals of the two drafters. Fee very much wanted her Huskies and her Unrivaled, and Caitlin was like, I'll take all the perimeter players the rest of the way that are still available. Can we do this really quick? I'm going to go off of your topic sheet for 2 seconds. Do you, off the top of your head, know who your personal Satu Sabali replacement would be if the league has time to name anybody? Caitlin Clark? My answer, I'll go first if you don't want. Brittany Sykes would be my answer. I want Brittany Sykes.
I was going to steal your answer, actually.
Yes.
I think that would be really fun. And again, get 3 teammates on the same team. I think that would be great.
If they need 2, because of Clark, who's your second one?
I don't even know.
I have my answer, but I'm making you go first this time.
I honestly don't know. I have not. I didn't think about the fact that we need 2 because
we
you're
might
the one
not.
that told me.
We'll see.
Well, yeah. I have not thought about needing up to 2 replacements. So what's your answer?
Bree Jones would be my second one.
Oh, yeah. That'd be a good one.
She's been very good for a great Atlanta team. And her and BG, like, expanding their games to be like, oh, I'm taking jumpers now? Okay. Like, all the time on this 3-point shooting happy dream team has been a big reason why they're so good. So we're getting ahead of ourselves. But if they need 2 replacements, and it's not going to be easy. The game is in 2 days. But if people can get there in 2 days, yes, Brittany Sykes and Bree Jones would be my 2.
Or anyone, which players are already in Indianapolis, support their teammates. That could be another way. But,
yeah, especially for 3-point with Clark. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get to that in our next segment. But, while I have you here, what were some of your takeaways from last night's New York Liberty versus Indiana Fever game?
My actual takeaway from the game is that there's too many games in the W season. I think in the amount of time that they're playing, right? I think that this has become a topic. You've been around teams to know 44 games, the amount of time that they have is too many. And everybody's hurting, and it's part of being a pro, but this is the most they've played. And it's too many games. I think the NBA plays too many games too. And the reason that this is popping up for me is this is the busiest part of the Fever schedule, and it ends going into the All-Star break, what they play at 8 p.m. Tuesday night in Connecticut. You know how hard it is to fly out of Connecticut to get to
in Boston. In Boston.
It was in Boston. That's right. I'm so sorry. That's a lot easier, but still, they fly to New York and then play at 7:30 the next day. So less than 24 hours between games. That does actually defeat a little bit of my point, but still a challenge. They probably got in at, I'll make this up, 1:30, 2 a.m., right? So you're going to bed at later than that. And no Caitlin, and it's a back-to-back against the Hungry Liberty team right before the break. And, like, you can see the break in sights if you're not an all-star on the Fever team. Like, I'll admit, if I was an athlete, I would shrug my shoulders down and be like, I see the release coming, right? So it was just a scheduled loss. Like, they were, even if Caitlin played, they were going to get their butt kicked, and they came out disconnected, and their defense was flat. They're improving recently. Defense was flat, and they looked terrible. And the Liberty deserve credit for making them look terrible. They had a lot of players step up and have really nice performances. Don't get me wrong. But, like, even they've been kind of up and down recently without Jonquel Jones. So the fact that they looked that good and the Fever looked that bad to me was, one, very revealing. Like, the Fever couldn't put together another great win against a good team, but two, just like this game shouldn't have happened. There's too many games.
Yeah, I think a back-to-back, especially during the All-Star week or leading up to it, is definitely really tough. But, what does the team need to do to get back on track as they play the New York Liberty right after the All-Star break again?
Guard better, find some consistency. Like, I truly believe that they have enough natural offensive talent that it'll come when they're healthy, right? These last 2 or 3 games was their last time where it said no injuries on the injury report for the Fever, like literally the whole season. Once Demiris Dantas got back from America play, now Clark's out, but when Clark comes back, like I have every reason to believe the Fever can score, but their defense is just so all over the place. Like they're so inconsistent on the end, and I used to think inconsistent just meant bad, and I don't think the Fever are bad. So I think they need to find consistency on the defensive end if they want to be the team that they said they could be before the season, which was a contender to win stuff. I don't think they're at that level right now.
Well, coming up next, we'll chat more about the All-Star events themselves and then what Tony's looking forward to. Today's episode is brought to you by OpenPhone. If you're running a business, you know that every missed call is money left on the table. Think about the last time you had an urgent need, maybe for a plumber or a service provider. If the person didn't answer, did you wait? Probably not. You moved on. That's why you need OpenPhone. OpenPhone is the #1 business phone system built to streamline and scale your customer communications, all from an app on your phone or computer. OpenPhone lets me manage business calls and texts from a single app. And their AI agent handles after-hours calls, answers common questions, and captures leads so you never miss a customer. OpenPhone is offering my listeners 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/lockedonnba. That's OpenPhone.com/lockedonnba. And if you have existing numbers with another service, OpenPhone will port them over at no extra charge. OpenPhone, no missed calls, no missed customers. Okay, so first let's start with the All-Star game itself. Teams are already picked by Caitlin Clark and Nafisa Collier, but which team are you most excited to see?
I don't know that when I read this question, I was like, man, I kind of want to come through and like come out with a really grand answer for a reason for like picking one team or the other. Oh, one team has 2 rookies, like that's exciting. What are they going to look like on the All-Star stage? How's that going to be for them? The other team has the rookie, right? Like everybody's very excited to see Paige in this game. Don't get me wrong. Caitlin entertaining in front of the home crowd could have been an answer if we were like certain she was playing all the Fever girls together for the 2nd year in a row. But also, like there's just a lot of reasons that you could pick either team, unlike last year where it was like a totally different setting. So I had trouble coming up with a like concrete reason for I want to see this thing from this team. So my answer is going to be this. I can't know this until the game starts. The team that I am the most interested in is the one that leans into the new rules the most, the one that is willing to bomb away from the new spots. Again, we'll get to this stuff later. Bomb away from the new spots, abuse new rules, play goofy ball, sub like crazy. That seems like a Cheryl Reeve special. So maybe Team Reeve is my answer because of that. All that kind of stuff, because that's what makes the All-Star game more fun to me, is like it already is an exhibition to some extent. It's going to be hard to get the true competitive level out of everybody, even though I will give the WNBA credit. They've done a good job of getting their players to try year in, year out. Okay, that's fine. But if it's just shy of a normal game in terms of competitive level, you have to do something to make it gripping for everybody, especially when this is not a team they'll ever watch play again. This collection of 12 players will never be a roster ever again. I would wager that it'd be impossible for these all to be the same All-Star teams ever again, right? So, like, what do? It's the silly stuff, right? It's the connections between players that are being formed. It's the goofiness of the game. So maybe it's some like past drama between 2 players that I'm not privy to. Maybe it's some future team building hush combos going on that everybody will be excited about. But for me, it's going to be who leans into the silly, who makes this game quite the fun product.
I love that. And I also could not agree more. Before the All-Star game itself, there will be the skills challenge and the 3-point contest. Alicia Gray is looking to defend her titles in both. The other 4 players we'll be seeing in the skills contest are Natasha Cloud, Skylar Diggins, Erica Wheeler, and Courtney Williams. And then the other 4 3-point contest participants are Sonia Citron, Caitlin Clark, as we talked about, maybe Sabrina Ionescu, and then Kelsey Plum as well. as someone who's going to be there live, what are you looking forward to seeing?
Okay, Erica Wheeler's participation made me smile because she was supposed to go to All-Star last year to do the skills challenge, and then her plane, remember there was like all this plane power stuff going on, and she was like stuck in Atlanta, and everybody's trying to figure out if they can like get her a private charter to get there in time, and Kelsey Mitchell had to fill in for the skills challenge, and it's like, that was nice of Kelsey Mitchell to do, obviously. But like Erica Wheeler was supposed to be there. So I'm excited that in Indy, where she actually became a pretty beloved vet, backing up Caitlin Clark last year, and she's playing quite well for the Storm this year. That's been a really good fit for her. I hope she makes it and that she's able to actually participate this year and give herself a chance to be like, hey, maybe Gray would not be going for a dual repeat if she was there in Phoenix last year. So I'm looking forward to the juice that she can provide actually showing up in this, but also obviously like seeing the repeats for Gray would be very cool. I think she's the only player doing both years of this, so that'll be really fun. But everybody in the skills challenge is a pretty entertaining player, both as a player and as a personality. That one will be fun. The 3-point contest is loaded. Same thing. Maybe it's actually no. You go first. Who's your skills challenge crush this year, and then we'll do 3-point.
Okay, as an A10 alum and the A10 beat writer, I have to go Natasha Cloud. But as a former Connecticut Sun beat reporter, second pick would be Courtney Williams. And then 3-point contest, I'll steal Howard's pick and go Sonia Citron. I think it would be really fun to have a rookie win the 3-point contest.
It would be quite fun. I just feel like you never know with the 3-point contest. Like it's such a different experience, right? Like Aaliyah Boston practicing shooting off a rack. Caitlin told us 2 days ago that she's never practiced shooting off a rack. We have no idea if she's even doing it, right? But it could look so different. Citron gets the played college basketball in the state of Indiana bump for me of like, oh great, maybe you're just gonna get the natural Indiana shooting a basketball juice out of this game that isn't existing for anybody else. But like, man, we've seen Sabrina in W and M 3-point contests have legendary performances. Plum's a great shooter. Clark, shrug. We'll see if she's able to do it. I would say of all the events she's scheduled to do, the 3-point contest is the least demanding on the groin. Like it feels like that's a part of your body where like cutting side to side. I'm doing it in my chair so people watching on YouTube can make fun of what I think cutting looks like for a WNBA player. Maybe don't plan a game, but maybe you could like run to a rack and shoot some threes. Maybe that wouldn't be such a big deal. Like even when she was rehabbing from injuries, we could see her at practice taking some jumpers. It would be very cool to see Caitlin Clark do a 3-point contest because she's denied other invitations to do it in Indy. So that would obviously be exciting. They all have good reasons to win, but I like the rookie pulling it out would be the most fun, perhaps. But I think if I had to pick a winner right now, if you just said, Tony, who do you think is going to win? I would pick Sabrina.
Well, and then Sonia Citron was practicing with Kiki Iriafen, I believe, as the rack. Iriafen was playing the role of the rack. So I think that's always interesting. And then, had you picked your official skills contest prediction winner?
Oh, I didn't. I think the natural entertainers have the best shot in every skills challenge. So Courtney Williams has a good chance there. And Natasha Cloud has a good chance there. 2 like perfect skills contest personalities, I would say. That's good.
Yeah,
that's good work from the WNBA.
Definitely excited to see all of that. Well, coming up next, we'll finally chat about the special rules for the All-Star Game and what hosting the event means for Indianapolis. Today's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Ever wish managing your money felt easier? With Monarch Money, it can. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is more than a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. My husband and I have been working on combining our finances, and Monarch Money has helped us track our spending and make sure we're on the same page, especially when it comes to spending on groceries and takeout. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNBA for half off your first year? Okay, so before we get into the fun rules changes, I do have another question for you. What does the All-Star Game being in Indianapolis mean for both the Fever and then for the city at large?
Yeah, it's a big deal, right? Like I was talking to Kathy Engelbert at Men's All-Star in 2024, and she said at that time the W was assessing Indy as an option then, right? So they clearly have been like into this, and since then, I think she called it, I forget what the city in Switzerland is. There's a big like economic conference there. I think it's Davos is what it's called or something like that. She called Indy like the Davos of the Midwest or something like that, which I kind of kick out of. Perfect for meetings and things like this. But, you know, is the way the W has really ascended the last couple years, and Caitlin being like a really central figure and all that, like it is the perfect time for it to be here, really, like as an establishment of what has happened, right? I mean, I was around for the last years before Caitlin, where the Fever were not very good, and there was not a lot of buzz about Indy as a, yes, let's go do all this Fever stuff city, and now it's a huge deal all the time, no matter where they're playing, here or somewhere else. So the fact that they've channeled that buzz into now hosting the event, which will be awesome, and they clearly have the facilities to do this. Gamebridge has hosted a million big events of late. Will be awesome, right? And like you drive downtown now, and the now signs are everywhere, and Asia Wilson's face is huge, and Caitlin Clark's on a hotel that's like 20 store. It's crazy how big that graphic is. Like it's unbelievable, and everybody gets to see the cute little airport court that's like cool because it's an airport court, but also like, please put a rack of balls out and let me shoot. It's so annoying that it's there. So here's the thing people don't know that I wonder about. I'm derailing your question. If those who don't know, the Indianapolis airport has a basketball court in the airport when you come in, with like huge WNBA All-Star graphics plastered on it. That court is in an area that is before you go through security. So let's just like pretend that someone dropped me off at the airport and I brought a basketball inside. Like, what are they gonna do? Can they actually stop me from walking up to the court and taking some layups, taking some jumpers? Anyway, the Indy loves hosting these big events. The buzz is huge for it, and the Fever's growing popularity has made it a really big deal to a lot of people here who maybe weren't as into it before. And obviously the Fever fan base is huge, but obviously there's always a huge fan base for W All-Star. So to have kind of those overlap and intersect here, I think will be really fun and really exciting for everybody, especially because 3 Fever players deserved to make it. So locally, there will be a lot of buzz for those 3.
And then, what are you expecting from the fans, whether they're from the Indianapolis area or, traveling in? I'm assuming there's going to be a great turnout and a lot of excitement surrounding all the events.
I am very curious about what that balance will look like of local fans versus coming from out other places. I keep bringing this up and I feel bad, but because it's only sort of related, but like at Men's All-Star last year in 2024, I was actually surprised how localized the fans were. Like Tyrese Halliburton was playing in that game and he would make a 3 and everyone was like, and I was like, wait, he's like the worst All-Star in this game, but everybody was psyched because he's the local guy, right? So I think if Caitlin plays, obviously that would be a factor too. And then the Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston baskets. Like, let's compare the decibel levels on their points to everyone else's to see what the crowd kind of base is and who everybody's cheering for and all about. But there's like stuff everywhere. Like, it's not just go to the arena. Like, if you want to do less expensive events or you don't get tickets to the game itself, you could go to the convention center for this activation, or you can meet this player at that thing. Like, there's lots of ways for people to be connected to their favorite players or be involved with the best players without even having to go to that stuff. And that's what I think is really fun about All-Star Weekend is both is the W's done a good job of making it about connecting fans with players, even beyond just the game itself, which is just a showcase in many ways. And that's what Indy is very uniquely tailored for. Is it's not that big. Like, all their big stuff that is hosting all these events is like a 0.7 mile walk at most between things. So it's a really good chance for everyone involved to have some sort of experience of your liking, right? How involved you want to be is up to you, but if you want to see a player, even if you can't get tickets to the game, you'll be able to. If you want to meet someone, if you want to hear them talk, like, you'll be able to. And I think that is what makes All-Star so special.
Now we have to get into the special All-Star rules. And I'm reading some of the quotes from the official press release. The 4-point shot is back, which I'm very excited about. And, for every AT&T 4-point shot made, AT&T will make a donation to foundation supported by the WNBA and selected by players, which is an even better way to, incentivize people to take those 4-point shots besides just trying to make the game more fun. I love a 4-point shot in an all-star game or anything similar in other sports. It just adds another layer of fun to it.
Yeah, that'll be sweet. I love that there's multiple spots for it too. Like set someone on both of those, pass the ball back and forth until someone's open, rip a 4-pointer. There has to be one 4-pointer in these games. And it's like, it's good that it's gimmicky to the point that it's not weird. Like it's not such a deep three that it feels like ridiculous. But it's only from 2 spots. But also, like, if you're gonna do something like that too, great. Throw in the donation. I don't think have they announced 2 specifically? Those would be 2 yet. I don't think they have.
I don't.
Oh,
think
it says
so.
selected by players. That's what it is.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll see.
So that was just what was
though.
in the press release that came out, I think yesterday. And then some less exciting changes, just in comparison of fun and chaos.
I think one is more exciting. But go ahead, continue.
There's a 20-second shot clock instead of 24.
Boring. Next.
The only time in which players will physically attempt a free throw will be during the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter and during the entirety of any overtime periods. Otherwise, the player will be credited with the maximum available point or points given to the situation.
Can we clap? Is that boring for podcasting? Like, free throws are boring. This is a fun game for people. Like, I don't know about you. If I rewatch games, I get the free throws and I just click the right arrow on my keyboard 5 times, skip right past them. I don't want to watch these. Just tell me how many points there were. This is I get in real games you need free throws to some extent. This is way better for an all-star setting. This isn't my favorite rule change, but I am very excited about this. This is a welcome change to me.
And then my favorite special rule is live play substitutions, which awesome. Come with some restrictions, and I will read all of them before we get into the excitement of the live play substitutions. So teams will be permitted to implement hockey-like player substitutions while the ball is in play, provided certain conditions are met. Only the offensive team may make live play substitutions, and only one player substitution is permitted per possession. One player can exit the court, and another can enter onto the court only while their team has possession of the ball in the backcourt. The players exiting and entering the court must do so in the backcourt between the 28-foot mark and the half-court line, and the player entering onto the court may not touch the ball in the backcourt. So all of that being said, I still think it's going to be really fun, and I'm interested to see how Sandy Brondello and Cheryl Reeve kind of adapt, and if one of them will institute it more than another, or just how it'll be instituted.
I'm trying to think of the best way to use this because I saw that rule and I was like, whoa, wait, that's fun. Like if you are coming in the game, can you come in at like a dead sprint during live play to set a screen? Like that would be, I think, the best way to make yourself immediately helpful, right? You have to run a decent distance to get there.
I think if they are able to do that and somebody can run off, and then they can run off between the 28-foot mark and the half-court line and then run in. I mean, theoretically, it could work.
Boom. That's run in full speed. Like it's not just a dead ball where you're lining up somewhere. That I think is because you can't touch the ball. You're not just going to check in and like catch it right there. Like that would be boring and not fun. So that is so exciting to me. Like, how does that actually change the strategy? And there are lots of players who have like these little competitive fires in these games that would be like, yeah, how can we abuse this rule to give ourselves some points? I want to see someone set a full screen coming in from that, or just come in and muck something up in the lane, make a play happen, because now there's another angle of player coming on the floor or exiting the floor. How do they guard the player leaving the floor? How much like hockey is it where because they can't do it. It is like hockey where it's during live play, but in hockey the subs usually happen at the same time because they're happening, right? It's like, oh, they're subbing. Let's also sub. Let's do our line change. That can't happen. Only the offensive team can do this. So I'm really looking forward to it.
I think it'll also be interesting because if I'm remembering it correctly, there aren't a lot of necessarily stoppages. Like it might be hard to sub players in and out. So like this could be a good way of like, hey, we want to get this person in and just kind of, but then also how are you coordinating it? Like, are you just yelling for somebody to get off the court?
Go. So what's like, this doesn't happen all the time and it might not even happen in the All-Star game. But, there's like those possessions where like, should the shot clock have reset? Did possession really change? The ball's pinging around back and forth. What if like during those tip rebounds, like players are subbing on both teams back and forth when their team has the ball? Just make it chaotic and hilarious. That would be fun.
Definitely. So now that we've kind of talked about everything you'll be seeing this weekend, what are you most excited about? And is that answer the option for live play substitutions?
Yeah, the gimmicky stuff is fun for me. Honestly, though, like I've lived here since I was 10. Like, it's just fun when Indy's the center of the sports world for a sec. And I mean, it's not a real game. It's an exhibition, and these contests are great, but like no one is like changing their legacy on the 3-point contest to the skills challenge. Like it'll be fun to watch those events, but for me personally, I like when Indy is a focus and gets to put its shining face on. And this time people get to see the sun because it's July and men's all-star. It snowed like 4 inches and it was miserable for people who had never been here before. So it's sunny right now. The sun is shining, the tank is clean, and everybody will get to have a good time in Indianapolis and enjoy my Finding Nemo references on the way out.
Awesome. Well, Tony, where can the people find you and your work?
Yes, the next fever beat there, which is a lot of like, oh, this player's hurt, this player's hurt, this player's out, this player's in right now. But hey, they're actually playing better, I would say, of late. Won 3 of their last 4 heading into break. Once Clark gets healthy, I think they'll zoom a little bit. I don't think they'll zoom quite as high as they hoped they would before the season. So lots of fun coverage of this team, especially their participation in these events coming there.
Definitely. And you've started your weekly show.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. On this very Locked On Women's Basketball feed every Friday, Fever Fridays. I assume tomorrow will be very much about All-Star and what's going on there, because we'll hear from players early in the morning at their practices. Team Clark especially has all the Fever talent. So looking forward to that.
Awesome. Well, I'm on every other Friday, so it's always fun to, when I'm uploading my podcast, see yours and get to celebrate my finishing my podcast with listening to yours. And then for our listeners, make sure to tune in all weekend long to Locked On Women's Basketball and the Next for coverage from, this is a long list, so get excited, Gabby Alphaby, Howard Megdal, Tony East, Stephanie Collier, Daisha Smith, and then Andrea Delaney will be handling all things social media, while Hannah Kevorkian will be there taking photos. And if you're in Indianapolis, Howard is doing a book signing for his book, Becoming Caitlin Clark, The Unknown Origin Story of a Modern Basketball Superstar, at Turn the Page Books and Gifts in Westfield, Indiana. So go back about a month ago, listen to my episode with Howard talking about his book, and then go pick up your copy and get it signed on Saturday. Well, thank you for joining me today, Tony, and thanks for making Locked On Women's Basketball your first listen today. For your second listen, find the Locked On NBA podcast where there is no off-season. Doug, Matt, and Hayes keep you up to date on contract negotiations, rumors, and everything you need to be the most informed NBA fan. Find Locked On NBA on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.